Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jack, and I specialize in peeling back the layers of reality to reveal the hidden, the unexplained, and often the truly chilling. And if you're looking for ordinary, you're in the wrong place. My mission is to unearth the deepest, most unsettling mysteries that lurk just beneath the surface of our world, the ones very few people ever discover. Today we're diving headfirst into a story so strange, so bizarre, it might just redefine what you think is possible. Prepare yourselves. This one, it might just stay with you long after the video ends. Okay, everyone. Find a moment to think about water, about lakes, their calm surfaces reflecting the sky, the mystery of the depths below. We dive into lakes, reach the bottom, explore the world beneath the surface. We expect the familiar: mud, rocks, perhaps submerged trees or structures built by humans. But what if you found something under the water that wasn't meant to be there? A structure that defied physics, that twisted space and time, leading into an impossible abyss? We're talking about the staircase under the lake, a submerged structure, and the terrifying depths of an infinite descent. Poland, a country with a rich history, dotted with ancient forests, rolling hills and thousands of lakes, remnants of glacial activity. These lakes are often popular for recreation, for fishing, for diving, their depths explored and charted. It was in one such lake in Poland that the anomaly was discovered, perhaps by recreational divers exploring a new spot, or maybe during a hydrographic survey. Deep in the middle of the lake, sitting on what should have been the lakebed at a depth of approximately 30 meters, about 100 feet, they found something impossible. A large, flat slab of worked stone, clearly artificial, and extending downwards from it, spiraling into the darkness below, was a staircase, made of the same dark, smooth stone, clearly cut and shaped by intelligent design, not a natural formation. Subsequent dives by specialized underwater archaeologists and researchers, Dr. Lena Petrova, leading submerged analysis, Ben Carter, analyzing data and equipment logs, confirmed the discovery. They followed the staircase downwards. The lakebed, according to all charts and sonar readings, should have been at 30 meters. But the staircase continued past 30 meters. Their depth gauges continued to register increasing depth. 50 meters, 100 meters, 150 meters. They followed the spiraling steps to almost 200 meters, about 650 feet, far below the natural bottom of the lake, and there was still no sign of an end. No lakebed, no floor, just the staircase descending into profound, unnatural darkness below. The walls of the staircase were smooth, seamlessly carved from the same impossible stone, continuing the spiral downwards into an abyss that should not exist. This was an infinite descent, a submerged structure that defied every known law of physics and geology. The mystery deepened. How could a staircase exist thousands of miles below the bottom of a lake? Where did it lead? Was it a geological anomaly of impossible scale? An ancient artificial structure of unimaginable depth? Who built it, and for what purpose? Why does it have no bottom? What happens as you go deeper into the impossible darkness? Driven by scientific imperative and a growing sense of dread, a specialized deep-sea diver, give him a name, e.g. Captain Piotr Kowalski, equipped with advanced deep-dive gear, reinforced communications and recording equipment, cameras, sensors, chronometers, attempted a more significant descent down the stairs, past the 200-meter mark. The experience was grueling. Increasing pressure, simulated or real, bone-chilling cold, and a darkness so absolute it seemed to consume the light from his powerful lamps. The camera feed from his helmet began to distort, flickering with static and strange visual glitches. His communication with the surface support team became garbled, his voice warping into unnatural tones. The support team monitored his depth reading. It continued downwards, 250, 300 meters. After a predetermined time limit or reaching a specific depth threshold, decided upon by the research team, perhaps Dr. Elias Thorne monitoring energy readings, Dr. Anya Sharma monitoring potential psychological effects on the diver, the support team pulled him back up using his tether. The ascent felt agonizingly long. Back at the surface, Captain Kowalski was physically fine, but deeply shaken, disoriented, by the descent into the impossible dark. His account of the descent was fragmented, filled with descriptions of unending steps and a growing sense of spatial disorientation. The truly horrifying findings emerged when they checked his equipment. His internal digital dive computer, depth gauges and chronometer recorded a significant time discrepancy. While only 30 minutes or perhaps an hour had passed on the surface, verified precisely by the support team's watches, radio timestamps, and the unchanged position of the sun in the sky, Captain Kowalski's equipment recorded that he had been down there for 4 hours or a similar, impossible duration. This was a clear, localized temporal distortion linked directly to the descent down the staircase. The deeper he went into the impossible abyss, the more time warped relative to the surface world. Amidst the initial explorations, the divers had noticed strange carvings etched into the smooth stone walls of the staircase as they descended. Symbols, patterns, unlike any local historical markings or known scripts from Poland or even Europe. Dive teams had taken photos, made rubbings of these enigmatic markings. Ben Carter, working with Professor Dmitry Volkov, researching ancient languages and symbols, began the painstaking analysis of the carvings, comparing them to various ancient scripts, symbols, petroglyphs from around the world, both known and debated. No match was found in local or European history, nor in the Near East or Asia. The symbols were complex, structured, clearly part of a deliberate system. Ben Carter used advanced pattern recognition software to analyze their structure, their recurring motifs. The shocking twist came from comparing the carving patterns to symbols found thousands of miles away. The symbols on the submerged staircase in a Polish lake showed an uncanny, profound resemblance to ancient symbols or patterns found in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, on Easter Island, Rapa Nui. Specifically, the structure and style of the carvings matched patterns found in theories about Rapa Nui's enigmatic, undeciphered ancient language, Rongo-Rongo, or similar hypothetical models of their symbolic communication, or its ceremonial markings and petroglyphs. The symbols on a staircase leading to nowhere under a Polish lake were intrinsically linked to a remote, isolated island culture on the other side of the world, separated by vast oceans and continents. The twist: analysis of the stone carvings, etched into the walls of the spiral staircase under the lake in Poland, reveals symbols resembling ancient language patterns or ceremonial markings from Easter Island, Rapa Nui, located half a world away, suggesting a profound, ancient global connection or network linked to the impossible structure. The implication was staggering and terrifying. The staircase in Poland, an impossible structure of infinite depth and temporal distortion, was directly linked to a civilization or knowledge base from the other side of the planet, the ancient inhabitants of Rapa Nui. This suggested a vast, ancient, global network of people who knew about such phenomena or were capable of building them. Or the anomaly itself, whatever its true nature, was connected to a network of similar anomalies worldwide, using these symbols as a common language, or key. The symbols pointed to the origin or purpose of the staircase being tied to something that influenced disparate ancient cultures, perhaps related to the Earth itself, its deep structure, or a non-terrestrial entity capable of manipulating space, time, and geology. The staircase's purpose was not just a hole in the ground. It was a purposeful, possibly ceremonial structure. The symbols might be instructions for use, a warning about the descent, or a description of where it leads, or who built it. The infinite descent wasn't physical depth into the Earth's crust. It was a passage into another dimension, a different, temporal state, or an abstract conceptual space represented by endless steps. The lake was merely an entry point, a threshold concealed by water. The temporal distortion was an inherent property of the anomaly. The descent down the stairs shifted the explorer into a different temporal flow relative to the surface reality. The deeper you went, the more time dilated or warped, hours passing below while minutes passed above. The Easter Island link was terrifying. The symbols on Rapa Nui were likely related to this same anomaly or network. Did the Rapa Nui people know about this staircase? Did they build similar structures, perhaps the mysterious statues, moai, or their ceremonial platforms related to this concept? Were they connected to the staircase builders in Poland? The aquatic environment wasn't just a setting. The deep, dark, pressurized water was the medium of the anomaly, a barrier concealing the impossible structure, adding layers of isolation and physical horror. The entity. Who built this staircase capable of manipulating space and time and connecting disparate points on the globe? An ancient civilization with impossible technology? An entity capable of manipulating reality? Is there an entity at the bottom of the infinite descent? Is the staircase itself a manifestation of an entity? The deep, the spiral, the time, the earth, global link, ancient knowledge, the unknowing, the buried, the architect, impossible structure, the vast, implied scale, if infinite. The Magnus Archives horror was a potent blend of aquatic claustrophobia, spatial disorientation, and temporal distortion. The fear of drowning, crushing pressure, profound darkness combined with an impossible, endless descent into the unknown abyss. The deep, the vast. Scale. The spiral shape and infinite nature of the staircase evoke powerful feelings of disorientation, recursive loops, the mind breaking down an impossible space, the terrifying possibility of being trapped in an endless fall or a cyclical descent, the spiral, the mind's eye. Time distortion, minutes feeling like hours, the chilling thought of being irrevocably altered or displaced by the temporal shift as you descend, losing your place in time, the spiral. The unknowing mechanism and ultimate purpose remain elusive. Who built it? Where does it lead? What do the symbols mean? What happens if you reach the impossible bottom? What happens if something comes up the stairs? The unknowing. Ancient stone carvings linked to a distant enigmatic civilization, Rapa Nui, implying a hidden, vast, ancient knowledge of this impossible structure and potential global connections. Secrets buried deep underwater. The buried. The deliberate construction of an impossible, endless staircase by unknown builders. The architect, the unknowing. The isolation of being deep underwater, cut off from the surface and reality by the anomaly's effects. The isolation. The researchers are burdened with the knowledge of this impossible structure, its temporal effects, its potential connection to ancient global secrets and the terrifying implications of its existence. The burden. The submerged structure was an infinite descent. Aquatic horror concealed a temporal anomaly linked across continents. The researchers, Dr. Sharma, Ben Carter, Dr. Thorne, Professor Volkov, Dr. Petrova, Captain Kowalski, and the clandestine team, are left with the horrifying reality of a staircase under a Polish lake that defies space and time, is linked to ancient symbols from the other side of the world, and leads into an abyss from which few have returned unchanged. The investigation continues under intense secrecy. They are intensely monitoring the staircase, analyzing the water near it for unusual properties, attempting to capture any energy signatures emanating from it. More detailed analysis of the carvings is underway. Are there more, perhaps hidden, deeper down the stairs? Can the language symbols be fully translated? What do they say? More controlled descents with specialized equipment are planned, focusing on measuring temporal distortion at different depths and documenting the environment of the impossible descent. The terrifying debate rages about attempting to go deeper. What happens when the time dilation becomes extreme? Do you age years in minutes? What is at the impossible bottom? A destination? A source? A different reality? What if something comes up the stairs, attracted by the investigation? The fear that the staircase is a trap, a prison, or a gateway that should remain sealed, and that exploring it risks unleashing something ancient and terrifying, or becoming permanently trapped in its temporal spatial anomaly, lost forever in an endless descent where time loses all meaning. The staircase under the lake is real. It is a spiral stone staircase discovered under a Polish lake, starting from a rock slab at 30 meters depth but leading down impossibly deep without a bottom, causing significant temporal distortion, hours passing below for minutes above when descended. The twist reveals carvings on its walls resembling ancient language patterns from Easter Island, Rapa Nui, located halfway around the world, suggesting a profound ancient global connection linked to the impossible structure. The Magnus Archives. Horror remains a chilling undercurrent, amplified by the aquatic environment, the spatial impossibility, the temporal violation, and the inexplicable global link. The pervasive sense of dread that comes with knowing that a staircase exists under a seemingly normal lake that defies physics, warps time, is linked to ancient secrets from a distant culture, and leads into an impossible abyss. What is at the bottom? Who built it? What happens to those who go too deep? Sleep well, and next time you see a lake, remember the one in Poland. Remember the rock slab. Remember the spiral stairs. Remember the impossible depth. Remember the darkness. Remember the time distortion. Remember the carvings. Remember Easter Island. Remember Rapa Nui. Remember the connection. Because the staircase under the lake is a terrifying secret, and its endless steps are a chilling invitation to consider the possibility that some paths lead not to a destination, but into oblivion, and that sometimes the bottom isn't just deep. It doesn't exist. What happens if someone reaches where it's supposed to end? What happens if something starts climbing back up? What happens when the staircase comes out of the lake? This story was just a glimpse into the strange realities I explore. There are countless other mysteries out there waiting to be revealed, and I'm dedicated to finding them. But with the kind of topics we cover, sometimes you just can't predict what the future holds. So, to guarantee you're always in the loop, to make sure you catch every unsettling discovery I bring to you, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. Don't risk missing out. You might not get another chance.